We have a special guest in the building today.
Hi, I'm Tema Louise Sall. Thanks so much for having me, Tehran.
Well, that enthusiasm is why we have you. You know what I'm saying? You're just like one of the, like, I enjoy you. And we have a lot of, I say special guest every week because we really have special people on the show every week. A couple times I didn't say special guests because those guests suck. Y'all know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And we have a lot of famous people come through, whatever. Sure. But you're working on your comedy.
Right.
You do comedy with the ukulele?
I do. It's one of the things that I do. I do a lot of
How did you even start playing a ukulele?
One morning I woke up, it was back in October, this past October, and I just said, today's the day I'm going to buy a ukulele. And I went to a secondhand music shop. I bought a ukulele, and then I had a show later that night, and I had written the first verse to one of my original songs, and I performed it that night. It was just one of those things where I woke up one day.
Do you play it well?
I think so. I think for considering the fact that I literally just started playing in October. Literally.
I mean, I wouldn't even know where to even purchase a ukulele. Like, where did the
Yelp
ukulele
really
even come
helps a lot.
through?
Yeah, it was that morning. I was like, all right, let me jump on Yelp and see what I can find.
Why the ukulele?
Because my hands are really tiny, and I had always wanted to play guitar, but that didn't work out.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
tiny hands.
So I just decided to shrink down to a different size. You keep staring at my hands.
That's because now I'm thinking, wow, my penis would look huge. Like, that's what, when guys hear things like tiny hands, they think stupid stuff
my
like
ego
that.
just got bigger. That's so
the
weird.
Thing.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a big thing. That's like a thing. It's like you start thinking, well, guys can make everything go down to the common nastiest denominator.
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
I mean, us girls try to keep it clean, but then...
I mean, I you know what? I don't know. A lot of girls...
actually go dirty, too.
Do. And one of the things I wanted to talk about today was actually Eliza Schlesinger making the comment regarding female comedy. Now, if you're not familiar with the comment that Eliza made in the article, an interview she gave in Deadline, she basically, and I'm paraphrasing, said that there is a lack of intelligent female comedy simply because a lot of females go up there and talk about their vaginas and getting periods and about the same things to the point where she can't tell who said it is at any given time.
Right.
And that she also has intelligent comedy, which she concludes her set with something like a World War II
Yeah,
joke.
she's the only one that's told an actual World War II joke.
Yeah,
she claims that she's the only female comic.
And a lot of female comics were upset.
Yeah.
How'd you feel?
Well, I actually have worked with Eliza like in the past, like 8 years ago or 7 years ago. I've done a couple shows with her. And I don't know, I felt like it was a little bit ignorant because she's not necessarily going out to some of these like tinier shows and whatnot and like actually seeing some of the female comics that are around these days.
Okay.
I just felt that there's a whole underground network of female comedians, I feel, that are kind of starting to come up a little bit more now. And I don't know, it's hard to say. I don't want to necessarily be public about it in terms of my real opinions. But
I mean, why? Are you afraid? You're afraid of what she will say?
Yeah, my eyes are going to get scratched out from other pussies. No, for real, I think because of the fact that she's done so well with her comedy and how she's gotten to a bigger platform, a higher platform, she doesn't have to necessarily go out and see other female comedians that are out there these days. So to me, that doesn't really validate her. Like her comment doesn't really seem validated because of the fact that she doesn't really know half of the comedy that's going on out there with the female comics.
Okay, so let me throw this out. First of all, I love Eliza. I think she's very talented.
I
and funny.
do too.
I also think she can be arrogant, and she can be like, she's just one of those people. But I think that's part of her charm, and I appreciate it. And I actually think her opinion is one that's actually way more valid than a lot of girls are giving credit for. And she's saying something that a lot of girls think and have talked amongst each other about, but it became really popular to hate on her comment. And it was because in everyone's view, she made it seem like she was the only female comic not doing what everyone else is doing. And I don't think that was what she said. What she said is, and she wasn't referring to the big names, and the big names felt attacked. She wasn't if you aren't, it's like when someone sends out a post on Facebook and you take it personal.
Right.
So that's not a subtweet. She wasn't thinking about you. She was thinking about the people it actually applied to, and then everyone took it upon themselves because the English language is flawed in that way. When a rapper's like, yo, I'm better than you, who is you? It's not me, the person listening to the song. It's the rhetorical you. So are you telling me you don't feel like female comics sometimes do have very one-dimensional material?
Sometimes they do.
And that's who she's referring to.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, she's referring to the one-dimensional female comics out there, and she's saying, hey, we can do better.
Absolutely.
I did better. We can all do better.
I'll give her credit in the fact that she recognizes that too. So that's another.
People took that out of context. They took it away and ran with it because we live in a society right now where it's so cool to be offended. Like, if I'm offended, I must be right. And P.S., just to let you all know, just because you're offended does not mean you're right.
That's the truth. But people also love drama. I think they get caught up in the whole aspect of it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. That's totally arrogant and ignorant and everything. So, but the truth is that recognize your talent and understand your voice and stay true to your voice. And she does do that. I will give her credit.
She does. She works her ass off. And even though she can be a bitch, she's like a boss ass bitch. And she works hard. And my whole thing is like, if you, and I don't care. I'm not really politically correct. If you watch the show and you listen to the show, you'll know that. But what it comes down to is, there are a lot of girls who have the same material, just like there's a lot of people of color. We all have the same material. Right. Or, the Persian comic has the same. I mean, it comes out that way a lot. So all she's saying is, don't be bitter, be better. Like, motivate. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people wanted to just go at her, and some of the things they said were hilarious. You know what I'm saying? I forget what's her name posted the picture of Eliza in a vagina suit going, is this the World War II joke? Right. She's like, oh, I mean, a lot of people went at her, but people really got offended by her. And my thing is, the funniest thing is when open micers were getting offended by it, like people who were on that totem pole who actually are exactly what she's talking about they were so offended, like, oh, no, we don't. And then they'd go up on stage and be like, I got my period today and my vagina hurts and I suck dick. And I'm like,
you just totally filled that whole thing.
You did exactly what she said. Like, you are. And it's real. And it's not like comics don't talk about this stuff.
No, that's all we talk about.
Exactly. So I never understood. I didn't understand why so many people got so offended, except for the fact that they were looking for attention, because it was the cool thing to do was get offended by Eliza. It was cool to get offended by Eliza.
Yeah. What's next, by the way?
What's next to get offended by?
Yeah. I mean, it's
somebody. If I was big enough, they'd hate me. Like, but I'm nobody. So it's funny when I say stuff right now.
Well, but I think because this article came out last week, like the Wednesday, Thursday, something like that.
Exactly.
I feel like everyone's like everyone has the attention span of like a goldfish. It's just going to wash away in like a week. People are talking about it very heatedly right now, but it's like, accept what it is, and then you can take it for what it is, and then move on with your life.
Yeah,
man.
But I don't think Eliza's taking it in a week, right?
No,
so I think she's taking names and keeping records, because I know Eliza, and she's not going to forget who tweeted her this and sent her that. And she's hosting that show on Freeform. I mean, she's doing big things.
She's doing very well.
So I'm not worried about her money. She's good, right?
Yeah.
But I am worried about the people's money who crossed her, especially the ones who aren't at her money level.
Right.
Because she'll remember. She'll go through the tweets and be like, oh, really? Helen, bitch? Like, now you want to be on a show with me? Nah, I don't want Helen even within 50 yards of any show I do.
Man.
Like, and that's real shit. Because listen, one time I was at the Laugh Factory. This is like a month ago. We had this like Laugh Factory. They did like a panel discussion, and they were asking questions and things like that. And there was a specific question where the Laugh Factory was going to be involved in production. And I asked, what if you want a meeting with, the big names, but you don't want Laugh Factory and specifically Steve Hofstetter involved in your production? And there were a bunch of comics who were on the cusp. Ron G, Nate Jackson, they were in the building. But then there was a lot of comics I'd never even seen before. And they all started laughing and trying to joke and like, ha ha, oh, that's so, like basically thinking my question is stupid because I'm here at a Laugh Factory production and they're talking about producing content and getting meetings for people. And I'm like, well, what if you want the meeting but no Laugh Factory? And they're laughing. And I turned around and I said, I hope you all realize I'm 40% of all shows at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
Everybody laughing here will never perform here. And that shut the room up real quick.
Very quickly.
Because I mean, and that's why when I think Eliza's going to pull one of those.
Interesting.
Because I mean, I think people don't realize who people are sometimes.
Well, I think that people just they get excited about like a spike in someone's career or something that just takes off, and then they want to kind of ride that coattail too. I feel a lot of people do like to ride coattails in this biz, but I don't know, man. I think that it's interesting to see who actually has spoken up and who's given their opinion and what people have to say. I mean,
at least give an intelligent opinion. You don't have to say, hey, I love what she said. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, but when the people are attacking her and not her opinion, which is a new thing that we do so much.
Yeah.
Well, all we do is attack people. We're like, this is stupid. You're stupid. Everyone's stupid. LeBron sucks. Kobe sucks. I don't think that's the word we should use for these things. Like, Eliza's amazing.
Yeah.
She's very good.
She's very talented.
She's very good. She works hard. Like, talent is cool, but talent is really when you work really hard.
Yeah.
Like, that's what talent really comes down to. It's like, yeah, you might have a natural inkling, but I see a lot of tall dudes work at Rite Aid. Like, it's not like every tall guy's in the NBA.
Right.
It takes hard work. It takes dedication. It takes a whole bunch of those Facebook post lists that people love doing, but not actually following through.
Right.
And Eliza's one of those people. So
and she loves what she does too.
And she's good at it. And she deserves to be. And she's pretty and she's smart and she's funny and
she's
she does
been around for a while too. She's definitely been working hard for a very long time.
That's crazy.
I will give her credit for that, man. I mean, it takes one to know one when it comes to being like a hard worker in a business. And I just remember there was this one day I actually was booked on some sort of background gig, and she actually was like a principal in that gig that we were doing together, and it was out in Compton or something like that. But I just remember meeting her, and she was just, it was after Last Comic Standing, so she was already like starting to come up even more. But it's cool, man. I mean, like, it's nice to see how far people go. I mean, yeah, maybe interactions aren't always the best, but whatever, man. I don't work hard.
I don't get mad when people, like, even when big names treat me sometimes. Well, actually, I've never had a situation where there's only one time actually where a big name person I felt like treated me like shit. And it's not even a big name person. Yeah, nigga, I don't care. Lee Camp and his friends were at the Laugh Factory, and I didn't know who they were, but I was interested because they had such a strong, he had a draw, and he does this political show that's even more left than the Young Turks. And he had a draw, and he's from DC, and I was like, and I walked up to one guy, I was like, hey man, what's up? My name's Tehran. You guys are from DC? That's great. I'm from DC.
Right.
And the guy who was opening up for Lee Camp, I don't remember his name, was like, oh, that's great, dude. You know what? I gotta do something real quick. I'll be right back. I have to do it. And he just literally walked away from me and just never didn't talk to me. Like, what he had to do was not talk to me.
Right.
And then him and his little friends, they weren't welcoming. Like,
damn.
And I don't realize they realized what I was doing there. If they thought I was some fangirl, which I wasn't, but I was actually impressed with the amount of people you pulled. I didn't even watch any of their sets. And actually, I watched the young lady's part of her set, and it just wasn't amazing, but I was just impressed with the amount of people.
His following.
Yeah, I love that. Like, that's one thing I definitely work on, is trying to get a following, a fan base, get content out there, and make sure people realize who I am at I Am Tehran, by the way.
But that's so much of what our society is built on these days, I feel, in terms of like with social media specifically.
Sure.
Is building your following and creating your brand on your own and being able to do it on your own.
Well, yeah, everyone has a brand. Everyone has a brand now. Now we live in a world where everyone has a brand. So if you feel like there's going to be a time where you come out the womb and before you get your birth name, you get an
brand?
Instagram name. You get an Instagram name like
Now.
I am Calvin Bruce Thompson, like, because
Calvin Bruce Thompson.
I don't know. That just sounded like,
is he a Scorpio by any chance?
I feel like he is a Sagittarius.
Oh,
actually.
okay, Sag.
So I was
Sag
thinking, Sag. He's a Sagina because I don't know. So my thing is, like, we all have brands, and if you're not building your brand, especially if you say, because I never understood comedians, artists, musicians, anyone who's like, oh, I don't like that stuff. I don't like Instagram. You don't like fame then. Don't say you want to do what you're saying you want to do. See, here's the problem with success, in my opinion. A lot of people want to be successful, but they don't actually want to do all the stuff that comes along with it.
Well, of course not.
They just want to do the fun stuff that comes with it.
Right, of course.
But that's not, Rihanna doesn't just do concerts. She practices a lot until concert day.
Right.
Like Lady Gaga practiced so much, she broke her hip in practice. She broke her hip because she practices like 8 to 10 hours a day.
Well, that's dedication to the craft. And,
exactly.
And staying on your toes and continuing to work those muscles.
Exactly.
Because anytime, anything can happen and you have to be ready.
And if you watch that Michael Jackson movie, This Is It, and whatever. Like, yo, you saw this is a person who was at the top of his game, still putting in practice. And I tell people, Kobe still goes to practice. Well, not now.
Yeah.
He retired.
No, he probably still goes to practice.
He probably still does.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that probably would I just bust your ass, bro. Like, why? Just Kobe,
I
stop.
just saw him playing in Venice the other day.
But LeBron goes. Did you really?
No,
like it just seems like I would feel like he would busting people.
Yeah.
LeBron is possibly the greatest basketball player in the world right now, and he goes to practice.
Yeah.
Right. Kevin Durant goes to practice. Steph Curry goes to practice. Like, how are you not going to practice? I'll never forget one of my favorite Kobe stories. Jordan Farmar is a good friend of mine. He's my boy. And Kobe, for some reason, he always picked on Jordan, was just telling the press, like, oh, Jordan's always late to practice. He never shows up to practice. Calling him out. And they asked the coach, and the coach is like, Jordan's never missed practice. He's always there on time. He always stays the full duration of the practice. Jordan's like, I'm never late to practice. I don't know what Kobe's talking about. And then Kobe goes, and press, Kobe, why would you say that? Jordan, from all the reports, Jordan's always at practice and he's always there. And Kobe goes, what time's practice? They said from like 8 to 4. And he's like, what time does Jordan come to practice? And he goes, from 8 to 4. And he goes, I get there at 7 and I leave at 7. And I'm Kobe Bryant. What time should Jordan Farmar get to practice?
Oh, man.
And that was like one of the real, you can't even be mad at someone who says that when you're that good and you're still saying like, yo, I should be the bottom of that level. Like you should be doing twice as much to catch up to where I'm at.
Right.
And that's real. I see a lot of people putting in work. Like, how do you feel about your comedy work ethic?
Oh, I personally think I have a strong work ethic because if I'm not booked on a show or a couple shows in a week, I'm still going to mics. I'm still going out. I'm still writing material. I'm getting those reps in because you still have to practice.
Yeah, of course you have to.
And
practice makes perfect.
Or almost perfect. My mom has this thing, but whatever. Just Jewish mothers, I guess.
It just makes you feel guilty.
Yeah, exactly. You can't always be perfect, but you can have a little bit of guilt.
But you can always get a husband,
perfect.
So you might want to work on that. Like,
you should tell my mom that because I just can't seem to get a husband, no matter how hard I try. But then again, I'm not in a rush to find a husband. It'll happen when it's beshert, which means it's meant to be. Yeah. For anyone who needs to know. What's going on back here?
I don't know.
Oh, a lot of action.
A lot of. It's like a rock group.
Yeah.
When we're in the studio, anything
Talk
can
about
happen.
getting your reps in and getting practice in.
I don't know if they're practicing or
it looks like
practicing being blonde. I don't know what's going on. But like with comedy, you have to practice. People
always have to, 100%.
It annoys me when someone's like, I'm a comedian, and you're like, oh, okay. How often do you get up?
Right.
They're like, oh, I get up. My next show's July 35th.
Like in 2 months or
your
35th.
July 35th. Yeah, and then the 28th of February. Like, why are you? What do you mean? Stop using that word.
Exactly.
Say you wish you were a comedian.
Yeah.
Don't be like, I want to be a comedian. Just be like, I wish I was a comedian.
Well, talk is cheap, baby. You have to
talk.
you have to put, if you're going to say something, put it into action. Actions speak louder than words, no matter what.
I agree.
Personally, when I started off doing stand-up, I started
How long ago?
March 2009.
Wow.
Yeah. So I started in college. It was my second semester, senior year at Indiana University. And I started out in the Funny Bone in Bloomington, Indiana. It's now the Comedy Attic. But I was going to that open mic every Wednesday night from March until May, actually June. And then I moved back to LA in June. Good. And I was doing the comedy circuit solid for 2 years. But then I kind of fell off the wagon a little bit. And then Last year I really like came back and I was like, all right, I really got to hit this hard. And so I started doing it. Like I was going to mics, like there's so many mics that I would go to where you have to throw your name in the bucket and then your name doesn't get pulled. You know, I've had a lot of those times, as there are a lot of comedians out there that still do. But the point is that you're going there, you're dedicating your time. You got to make sure that you're also making your time valuable and worthwhile when you're going out for that kind of stuff. But just the notion of going out there and being involved and being surrounded by that sort of community, like watch comedy, write for comedy, perform comedy, like that's how you're going to get better, of course. Like, and those were the three things that I was told when it came to starting off with stand-up comedy. But I feel like the more you continue to do it, the more you're going to take away. I mean, there's always a takeaway, I feel, from any sort of set that you do. But I love it. And I said last year, I was like, you know what, this is it. This is what I really, really want to do is stand-up comedy. I also want to do comedic acting for television. Good. But it's just, I've always had the ability to make people laugh and also have the ability to see things from a skewed lens, if you will. So I think, though, if you really, really love it, you're going to dedicate yourself no matter what, and you're going to find a way to dedicate yourself and do it. So, and
I mean, that's very real. And I like how you said you want to do comedic acting too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you do for a role? You know,
what would I do for a role?
Yeah, would you sleep with someone?
No, I wouldn't. I don't know if I would screw my way to the middle. I think that, like,
because I would. I'm just letting everyone know there, and I'm not talking to guys, girl. Yo, nigga, at this point, bring a horse. Like I'm. Like
whatever it takes, really, you know? Honestly. It's been working way too hard to
it's a lot of work. People don't realize how much work it is.
It is, though. And people also think that you can become an overnight success. You can't,
there's no overnight success.
There's so much, like, you have to put in so much effort and time. And also, like, when you're showing up to places like the Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, Improv, like, when you show face, they see you. And they see that you're out and that you're dedicated. But it's so easy to just like slide right underneath the radar if you're not going out and you're showing face.
Well, here's another. Don't show up to the Laugh Factory. They won't even let you in. But that's real. Like if you're not a regular, they're just not even nice about it. They don't play. They're just like, no.
Right.
It's interesting because a lot of comedians don't want to show face. They don't want to network.
Right.
And I'll be honest. At sometimes I'm one of those comedians. I don't really want to network with other comedians. Mm-hmm. But I've found a way where I network, which works for me.
And what's that?
And that's by doing my own thing. Like,
okay. All right.
I'm putting in.
Show me your ways.
Yeah, like I put in, but
how can I work
should be out there networking and
absolutely
shaking hands and meeting people and getting ideas and getting tags and tagging people. And, you know, I had a chance. Judd Apatow went on stage and now I don't know Judd Apatow. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if I tell people. If I tell people I know Judd Apatow, I don't know Judd Apatow, right? Because he'll say hi to me and people are like, oh, you know Judd? I'll be like, no, I don't know this nigga. You know what I'm saying? He don't know my name. He don't know. He came off stage after doing 40 at the Improv and I gave him 4 tags. Now,
how did he respond to that?
You know, he acted like they were great. And, you know, honestly, they would have improved his set in my opinion. But I did something most comedians I feel like wouldn't do. They wouldn't go up to Judd Apatow and be like, "Hey, Judd, I have a couple tags for you."
Right. That's pretty bold.
Because
on
other
your part.
comedians were like, do you know him? I was like, nah, not really.
Yeah, but you have that thing about you in terms of like, you know,
a bathrobe. Yeah.
Yeah, that is one thing.
I'm some guy in a bathrobe.
Right.
I'm just some guy.
You stand out. Yeah.
I'm some guy.
You always look comfortable. I'll give you that much. But you have the Juegos or the huevos? The Juegos. That's another word. You have the balls to be able to go up to someone.
I feel sexually harassed.
Okay.
It's like reverse
because
sexism.
Because I said balls?
Hey,
okay.
You don't know what
Unless
I've got.
Don't. Okay.
Transition.
You're very right.
People get offended all the time.
I'm assuming.
It's not, you know what? I have nothing to lose.
My
thing is, I don't have anything. You know what? If this doesn't, I'll figure something else out.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
you like to take risks.
I scare money don't make money. I definitely live by. I'll put all my eggs in one basket and let it ride.
I love that though.
Worst case scenario, I go broke and I have to start over again. Okay. And it's happened. I'm not gonna lie. It's happened several times.
Same here.
It's happened several times where I've like, let's try. It didn't work.
Right. But you know what doesn't kill you makes you stronger too. You're going to come back at it.
No, some of these things almost it hurt. It still hurt. But
all right.
I mean, that's how I live and play the game that I play.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Everyone has a different path.
My
thing is, there's a lot of comedians that feel like they want you to die
so that they can get
so
ahead.
they can exactly. They think, for example, if I die, my shows at the Laugh Factory are going to be theirs.
Right.
Like they're never going to be yours, Rob. You know what I'm saying?
Because they're yours. You've made it your own.
To the point where if I'm not there, it's a dead night. Like it's not.
And I've been there for that, and I agree with you.
On my night, if I'm not there, it's just
it's a whole nother yeah, man.
Yeah,
yes,
it is a different vibe.
It really
but I just
is.
because I brought something on my own. I'm not the best. Look, I'm not even good.
Okay.
My thing is, I'm not.
You are though.
Look, you know what it is? I'll work hard and I'll hustle. Like I'm not. No, people are good. There are people. At one time, I'll tell you something real. Whitney Cummings went up, and Whitney's my girl. Like I don't know Judd. I know Whitney. Whitney is my girl. She went up on my show. And she killed so hard, I questioned why I was in comedy. That is a true story. I was like, how am I the same as her? I will never be that good. I have seen that happen on rare occasions. Godfrey goes up and just murders. And I'm like, geez, for pound, I cannot do what they're doing right now.
But this is where you fall into a trap, is when you start to look at other people and then compare yourself to them, or try to say like, how am I'm not going to be as good as that. But that you shouldn't be focusing on that. You should be putting your energy into yourself and continuing to build yourself, because you know you have the potential to be at that level. And if anything,
I'm really
okay. So you're just gonna settle. You're gonna settle
like,
for average.
You know what I want to be? I want to be Carrot Top. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I wouldn't like. People are like, oh, I'm like, yo, I would be Carrot Top, where it's like, yeah, you're great, but you're kind of mediocre.
That's
you know
funny.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you're balling, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
And you're great at being this. Like I feel like,
but like people won't totally harass me on Twitter, so like it's okay.
Exactly.
Like I'm not that level.
I wouldn't look at Adam Sandler and say he's like great at stand up, but he is a stand up comedian, and that's how he got everything he has.
Yeah,
and I would love to be Adam Sandler. Like that is my
I love
dream.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler is amazing, and he's a good guy, and he plays ball.
I have yet to meet Adam Sandler. I still would love nothing more than to meet him, and I'd love nothing more than to work with him.
Next time I'm at an Adam Sandler
charity event
location.
Oh, okay.
No, I've never been to Adam Sandler charity, but I'll see him at the Laugh. I'll see him at basketball, things like that. We'll see each other. I'll let you know and be like, yo, get here now.
Okay,
He's here
good.
now.
Awesome.
Because he's so cool. He hangs
I've
out.
heard.
He does.
Well, he apparently lives on the west side. My roommate has actually ran into Adam Sandler twice.
He lives Brentwood or something.
Yeah.
And he'll come down to West Hollywood Park to play ball.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Almost every Friday, actually. If you go out there on a Friday, he's out there.
So now you're just gonna give me locations where I can go find.
Yeah, like
Adam
if
Sandler.
I'm there and I see him, I'll be like, "Hey, Adam, I'll introduce
There's
you.
this
He's a
really nice
guy.
Jewish girl
Who can totally. I know you're married, but
she's not trying to. She just really wants to be in one of your movies. So if you can consider her for casting.
That's the dream, and I love how he puts his friends on.
Yes.
He hooked up the crew.
That's what, by the way, that's how I will be. When I get to that level, when I get to Adam Sandler status,
I believe it.
That is
you
definitely.
You are a loyal person.
Thank you very much. But I think that's what's awesome when you actually are at the helm of a project like that. And if you happen to know and get production as well, I mean, that just makes you appreciate the whole, just levels of all the different people that work in a production as well.
So, with comedy, what is your end goal?
I want to be a host for late night television. Yeah, man.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Tema Louise Sall.
Tema Louise Sall. Yeah. The what?
Tema Louise Sall show.
Sall Ship. I like that. That's a new one.
Or why? How did you not just
Sall
have your
Ship?
name? Sall Show.
Sall Show. I thought you said Sall Ship.
I said Sall Ship the first time.
Okay.
But it wasn't even. It was because I was thinking of a branding for you.
Yeah, and
but
you
it wasn't
came
even for that. And then I said Sall Show.
Yeah, the Tema
because I
Louise
was saying
Sall
like
Show.
Sall Ship. That was
Sall Show.
How are you not like that? Should be the name of your fans.
Or I like that. I like that.
Mine's Torontourage.
Torontourage.
You're part of the Torontourage.
Oh, sweet! I made it.
See,
That's amazing.
you're in the Torontourage.
I
Like
love
if you're a part
it.
of Torontourage, you're making it. You know.
I like. I say Saul Good a lot, so like that's kind of one of my catchphrases.
Saul Good.
Yeah, Saul
that's
Good.
That's a good one,
Right? Yeah.
I like that one.
All right,
I hope
cool.
you should make that a shirt.
I do. I do need to. Well, the other shirt that I have is 100% kosher.
Oh.
So, but I think it's time
Should
to
do
upgrade.
well.
Yeah.
That should
Yeah.
be a good. 100%
It's aight.
kosher should be a good
Yeah.
T-shirt. Does it sell well?
Well, we didn't quite go into production with the
You
t-shirts.
need some
It was-
Tehran product. Like,
I do.
Listen,
I do.
if there's
Will you
one
help me
thing I
out?
do is like like I do the extras. That's what I mean. Like
The merchandise,
I'll
the
do
merch.
anything that's branding wise. I'll do it.
All right, so I got to
Branding-wise,
come out with stickers that say Saul Good, t-shirts that say Saul Good.
stickers. No one really. When was the last time you bought a sticker?
It's been a while, but I'm saying to hand out
Yeah,
stickers.
no,
You know,
you
Mikey
wanna-
McKernan, he does that. He
Sure.
has his sticker. It says Mikey McKernan is not funny, and they show up all over the city of Los Angeles.
That's great.
Yeah, but that's going back to branding.
I get
you
it.
know,
Mikey does that, and it's brilliant.
it is.
It is brilliant.
It's great
and he's
marketing.
done it, and it's free.
Yeah.
He gives them out.
That's
we
what I'm
make
saying.
money over here. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
right. We gotta
You know,
keep
if
those
being
Benjamins
broke is a
rolling.
joke, you won't find me funny. Okay, 'Cause, like, because I break it down. Like people are like, oh, I'll make more than like all these like in a month, what they make in a year. Like I'll do that. I need to do this. Like this is what
I hear that.
you can sell those 100% kosher shirts.
100%.
You need to be doing those at every temple, and you're in like
Damn, I should do that for the
Jew
Jewish.
haven.
Yeah, no, I'm doing the Jewish Comedy Festival this Saturday night. I should actually.
where?
At Temple Emmanuel in Beverly Hills.
Why did I not know about this comedy festival?
Now you do.
When is this comedy festival?
It's this Saturday night at 8 p.m. at Temple Emmanuel in Beverly Hills. Richie Leese is the one who's producing it through Comic Cure.
I'm gonna hit it and be like, how was I not invited to this?
I
feel some type of way. I feel like he's racist. I feel like,
That's what it comes down to, huh?
Yeah.
Like anytime that you're excluded or not really like included
I feel
whatsoever.
like he was racist.
That was racist.
There's no why else? Who else is on that show?
It's an all Jew lineup, so
Okay. Is he, see, now I'm offended.
why?
I'm just offended. Why? Why? Because I'm only half Jewish? That hurts my
So
heart.
on your dad's side,
On my
mom's side.
And
Oh,
that makes it
really?
a thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
You really are half
So when
Jewish
you-
then. I'd
you
even
get your-
argue that you're full Jewish.
you get your penis snipped, you know what I'm saying? And you
Real talk.
tie or deny, you know what I'm saying? How am I not on there? You know what I'm saying?
I
go
don't
to
know,
temple
man.
like every Saturday.
Why don't you hit up Richie and say, hey, if you have
be
a
like,
drop-in spot,
I already have a show Saturday. but
Okay.
Still.
you'll be there in spirit
What time's the show?
at 8 p.m.
I could have made it at 8. You know
Damn,
what I'm saying?
dude.
I could-
Because you
just
have your show at 10
Long
p.m.,
Beach.
right?
Yeah, Long Beach every Friday and Saturday in Long Beach.
Man, you hustle, Tehran. You definitely get out there. You're
work.
constantly working though. But that's great. And you started what, 5 years ago? You said.
Yeah.
That's amazing to be producing 4 shows a week at the Laugh Factory, 2 in Hollywood, 2 in
another
Long Beach.
Another 2. And
That's
like
amazing.
people were like, oh, because I was going to do the Hollywood one. I was like, that's too much.
Yeah.
In one, then it puts too much of a target. 'Cause
Yeah,
you got to
yeah.
think about these things.
Right.
I was like, I'll take Long Beach.
But that way, you're also spreading your brand
Exactly.
out, you know?
And Long Beach, you're working out. It's
Yeah.
because in Hollywood, you have to be perfect.
It's Hollywood.
Like you can't slack.
right.
Your birthday, by the way, your birthday show was a very good show.
So
You did-
much fun.
Yeah.
That was great.
You
And
had a
that
huge-
lineup was...
You had a huge crew. People came out. They love you. You have friends.
That I'm very, very grateful and blessed to say that I do have a really amazing supportive fan base. Like my friends, they continue to come out and support
They
me
do.
in the comedy
because
world.
your friends actually like you.
Yeah, right.
actually
I'm not
like you.
actually an asshole, so,
So,
you know, it helps. But
Being a girl and a pretty girl,
thank you.
does that, well, let's come
Real
on.
talk.
Yeah,
Real
know,
talk.
You have breasts, you have an ass, you know.
Thank you.
Does that hinder you in comedy?
I don't let it hinder me because while people might see me a certain way, I don't let that be the thing that speaks up for everything. Like I'll make jokes about it, obviously, because it's physically apparent, but I like to say things that people aren't going to assume. So And that's also, I feel, with the ukulele thing, is that that's kind of like a back pocket magic in a sense, because it's like no one really expects it and no one knows what's going to come from it. But I just don't like to be trapped in that sort of like realm of just being a pretty funny girl. Like I know that I can be quirky. I can also be disgusting. I'm only human, but at the end of the day, I do have my looks to fall back onto, but I don't make it all about that. You know what I mean? Like I consider myself to be pretty well-rounded and actually like feel grounded as a person. So, yeah, it's not what it's all about for me. And especially because I don't want just things for face value, because I actually like to go deep, philosophically speaking. I love how you caught me on.
Yeah, okay.
All right, guys. All right,
Martin,
fine.
say it, Martin.
That's what she said.
Martin loves that.
Oh man, I love The Office, by the way. Yeah, I don't like to fall to that, because then I feel you do
Hold
get
on, The
caught.
Office invented that?
That's what she said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
from The Office?
yeah,
Did you
that's
know
Michael Scott's line. It's not from that?
I mean, I don't know.
If it's not from that, that's
it
at
came
least
out
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
And if that's what made it popular, you know,
I
just
thought
didn't know.
so.
So you were saying though, you didn't use the looks. You were
No, I don't think you have, like, I don't want to have to just use my looks. Like, I don't think I have to, because I have a brain. I think I consider myself to be smart.
Yeah.
And I think that my wits
smart.
can outweigh the looks at times. You know what I mean?
I find it very difficult. Look, people, because like the same way that people might be like, oh, she has big breasts or she has a big ass, right?
Mm-hmm.
They use that, like, again, especially male comics can
Right.
be. You know, it's interesting because I feel like with me having such a big penis, I feel the same.
Well, you have your dick to fall back onto then, huh?
You know, my looks are just, I get it, bitches. I'm good looking. Jesus. Can I just be funny today? Can I just be funny?
Yeah.
It's just difficult.
Yeah.
Can I live? Can I live? Can I live though?
Yeah.
That's not a little Tehran catchphrase. Can I live?
Can I live?
Can I live? Let me live?
It's all good, man.
Well,
by the way,
dating
just
is
so
a
you know,
commitment.
my boobs are not as big as my ass. My bra is just phenomenal. I have a phenomenal bra. Yeah. Shout out to the bra makers.
Is dating difficult because of what you do?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
How so?
Well, dating comedians first of all. Yeah. No. And then the most recent person that I did date that wasn't a comic, I think broke up with me because of the fact that I'm a comic. You
dated a comic?
No, I dated a non-comic.
Non-comic, and
Yeah.
he broke up with you because you were a comic.
He didn't tell me exactly why he broke up with me. He simply said, I'm looking for something else, which I'm sorry, I'm kind of chalking up to the fact that it's because I'm a comic. Because he then proceeded to say after that, but for whatever it's worth, continue to do what you do.
Or maybe he's looking for anal.
He could be looking for anal.
Yeah.
Maybe he just needs to, maybe that might be what really kind of gets him going. Who knows?
Probably. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Tema Louise.
Spell it. I mean,
All right, fine. TEMALOUISE at Tema Louise. That's for Twitter and for Instagram and for Facebook and but for Snapchat, because I guess you can't change the handle once you've created it. It's at purple_T-bird.
Okay. All right. Well, that one's a goner. Lucky for you, Snapchat's not going to be used anymore. And it's crazy. Guys, I am Tehran, literally at I am Tehran all across the board. That's Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Snapchat, at I am Tehran, Snapchat. That's how you find me. Mr. George Corey is not in the building. Mr. George Corey, find him. Tell him you love him and that you missed him today. And we are Imperfect Gentlemen. Nobody's perfect but us. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you, Tema, for being on the show.
Thank you guys so much for having
You
me.
were so fun. And we don't even talk about comedy on the show. You know that, right?
Well, we did today.
We did today, but we don't. In general, we don't. You know what I'm saying?
Switching it up.